Welcome to this very special edition of Break of Throw, where we're going to have a very special person talking about another very special talent. We're going to be breaking down the throw of Luke Littler, and we're going to do it with the 16-time champion of the world, Phil the Power Taylor. Well, I'm here with Phil Taylor, and look, everyone wanted to know, Phil, what was your secret of being so successful and how you threw? But these days, the kids are looking up to a lad called Luke Littler.
Yes.
What is it that makes him so good?
Winning, his ability, obviously, he's a cracking player, but there is something about him, How can I compare? Once, it was on New Year's Eve, you had Gary Barlow singing on BBC, and you got Robbie Williams singing on ITV, doing his solos and the concert each. But Robbie was more entertaining than Gary Barlow, even though Gary Barlow is probably a better singer than Robbie. It's just something about Luke Littler. And then we've got to compare him with Luke Humphries. He's just something about Luke Littler that makes you want to watch him.
Yeah, that bit of X factor.
He's just got that X factor. You know what I mean? When the singer comes up and auditions in front of Simon Cowell, there's something about that person that makes me think he's got it.
Well, we're going to try and drill down into the technique. So I'm going to ask you to take a look at that monitor, Phil, and we're going to show you Luke Littler's throw. Start off with the stance. So you can see the front foot. You were pretty side on as well, weren't you? That's quite similar.
That's it. Just left to the centre. That'll make his arm then more or less level with the treble. He is a little bit at an angle, but not much. But yeah, lovely stance, flat-footed.
I mean, you could draw a line right down the middle of his body and it'd all be...
Yeah, flat-footed, looking right down it. So if you were firing a gun or a bow and arrow, you're aiming. A lot of players have their arms down below or they have their arms above their head. You know what I mean? So he's always going to be accurate. So the main thing for any dart player is your style. And me, John Lowe, who I dedicated me throw on as John Lowe, watched how he did it, saw how he did it, and it was always aiming. A lot of players are up here, or they're down here, or they're across here. The only slight fault, which isn't a fault with me, with Luke, he just, when I used to pull it, it'd come from my eye. Well, Luke will just go to the side of his face a little bit.
Is it true that you used to practice with a piece of string?
A bit of cotton. I'd tie some cotton on the 20, then pull it down tight with the 3, at the centre of the bullseye, and try and break the cotton. So I'd try and hit 180, but try and snap the cotton.
Wow.
So you're keeping... And then the older dartboards, I forget who it was now, give me a little tip, because the older dartboards used to have, the billets used to have brown paper around. So when they were crushed, you had all the lines, didn't you? And the dartboard, that's all the brown paper. It's clear plastic paper now. And then some trebles, there was like a line in the treble 20, so I'd use that as a target and aim for that line. So I'd aim in at the treble 20, but try and put my dart in that. So yeah, I used to try all that.
Aiming for
I never actually broke it, I don't think, but I tried.
Yeah, it must focus on mine, mustn't it?
It's just making practicing interesting, because it's boring. Obviously, you're not playing for anything, you're getting ready. But the only thing is, for me, when they did the draw was the best part. So if they did the draw in November for the World Championship, the next 5 or 6 weeks, I will be so dedicated because I know who I'm playing. And but when you don't know who you're playing and the draw hasn't been done, it's hard to get motivated for it. So you have to make little games up in your head to... I started off with a bit of sticky paper, bit of paper, an inch wide, inch square, put it anywhere on the board, and when you hit it with a dart, rip it in half, put it somewhere else, hit it, rip it in half, rip it in half, rip it in half, till it becomes so small, and then you try and hit that. But all the time you're aiming.
Yeah.
And then you look at the clock and half an hour's gone.
And when you go for a 180 in the normal game, it's going to look big, isn't it?
Makes it look bigger.
Let's actually have a look at Luke hitting a 180 now then. You mentioned the aesthetics of his throw. The stance is actually not dissimilar to yours, but what he does do is throw the darts pretty quickly and he groups them pretty well, doesn't he?
Yeah, a lot of that, because youngsters practice on their own. So they haven't got that person slowing them down. Well, I used to try and practice with somebody if I could, to keep me in that rhythm of playing. Otherwise, you start chomping on the bit. So that's why a lot of younger players now, when a player plays them, start slowing them down, it puts them off, because they're not used to it. Anybody who plays Luke Littler now is going to slow the throw down.
What he does do, maybe more than any other young player, is he can play at different paces. So there are occasions, and we're going to see one now, where he will just slow that. You can see now that's a little bit slower than what we just saw.
Yes.
Is that a really important skill to have based on what you've just said?
Yeah, because he's looking at winning the game now, so he's just slowed down a little bit. He's thinking, right, get accurate. And he's on song. He's in the bubble now. You can tell his eyes haven't moved. His body is still. I mean, these are the traits you've got to do.
Yeah.
You know, if you start jerking around like Richie Burnett, you're going to play well now and again, but you're never going to be a world champion again.
Yeah, and these are the side-by-side, so you can see the slower rhythm, the faster rhythm there.
He's a lovely player. And look at the follow-through. So the 3 things I did, keep your feet still, get your body locked, throw from your elbow and follow through. He does it.
So actually, pace doesn't matter, really. It's about the fundamentals.
No, with Luke, it's his first start. If he hits that treble or first start, look out. It's going to be a 180. Look out. There. So it's going to be a 180. And Luke Humphries is exactly the same. You know, it all goes by their first start.
Right, other than being the greatest player of all time, you're also famous for the way your darts used to land in the ball, which was a bit different to everybody else.
I had that on purpose, though, because I'm being small.
Yeah.
I'd rather go on top, stack them.
Yeah, Sid Woodall called him the understacker, didn't he?
The understacker, overstacker, side stacker.
Luke Littler can do that as well.
Stacker.
And he's introduced something into the game where sometimes he will decide to throw his darts in a different way, where he throw the darts flat. So, for example, we saw earlier that he throw darts like that, but that one, he's done it to avoid blocking tops. That's an incredible thing to try, isn't it?
Do you know, I never even noticed that. That's genius, yeah. Yeah.
And then he's carried on throwing them in that sort of...
I'm gutted because I never thought of that. Mind you, my darts landed like that anyway. But if I threw at the double top and my dart went on the wire, I got a good thing, because they were so straight, I could go left or right.
Yeah.
So that was a good little advantage for me. That was like a little bullet in my gun, that was.
It's incredible for him to know how to throw differently and still to be as accurate. A lot of players, if you said, right, I'm going to grip the dart in a totally different place.
I wouldn't know how to do it, I'll be honest with you.
Yeah.
I'd like to have a try of that now.
I think he holds it further back than where he normally holds it, yeah.
That's what I hold mine further back, see. Well, I did.
That makes
sense.
I
mean, I was on the barrel and the stem. I used to have to rough my stems up if they were smooth so I could grip it.
But it makes sense, doesn't it? Because say you were playing Adrian Lewis, if he was going for 60, his dart's going to stand like that, and it's likely to block the top.
80 was another one. If your first dart went in treble, it's like, wow, here we go, 180. You 18, you know, you go back, take a sip of your water, and you can hear the 108. I think, yeah. Then do you know then? If I'm on song and Aid's on song, I think me and Adrian had the best games ever, to be honest with you, in my career.
Players went on the big stage. Interacting with the crowd becomes something that's quite important, getting them on your side. Just you mentioned the X Factor with Luke Littler. We're going to see him now doing that here at the Super Series, taking out a 170, that bit of interaction, actually before he throws the bullseye. Is this what you're talking about when you say he's got that bit of something extra?
Yeah, a little bit of cheek. If I was standing behind him playing him, I'd be thinking, right, you. I wouldn't be laughing or tapping his hand. I'd be thinking, right, you're going to get it now, if I can.
And here going for 3 bullseyes as well on 150. Turns around to the crowd, says, there's one of them.
And look at the score at 3 each.
Yeah, misses the second one, exactly. He's doing it to be a bit of an entertainer. But did you ever...
Whatever he's doing, keep doing it.
Yeah. Did you ever get involved in that type of thing? There were players...
Times, yeah, of course you do. You always have... With me, it was always friends and family, like the supporters, so they'd always let me know where they were sitting. And then you'd chat to that person as such. You could talk without talking. And then you'd want to know where your manager is, or your wife is, or your children are. The one thing, you know, I always had to be in the venue before I went on, because I'd be worried they'd had a crash or something. So I say to him, don't be late, because that will play on my mind while I'm up there.
After this break, we will be chatting more about the throw of Luke Littler with Phil Taylor. Welcome back to this special edition of Breaker Throw, where we're talking about the throw of Luke Littler with Phil the Power Taylor. Who were the great showmen that you played against?
The biggest showman, obviously, is Wayne Mardell. I think Eric. Eric was a showman, jockey in his own way. Even though jockey didn't want to be a showman, there was something about jockey that everybody loved. I used to go, and when we used to play exhibitions, we've been, you know, places together, Gibraltar, and everybody bar the dog knew Jockey Wilson. You know what I mean? And they're all shouting, Jockey! You know, it was great company, Jock was.
What were the crowd like for you in your career in general?
The beginning, quiet, respectful. You get the odd ones, but then the MC had said, quiet, please. The famous quote was Martin Fitzmaurice, with I think it was at the Lakeside. And he turned out, he says, the person who keeps shouting out, can you shout a bit louder? so the bouncers can see where you're sitting. And I thought that was brilliant, because you'll be out the door. So they had to behave themselves. But it just changed. It changed with everything. Sky changed the game.
Particularly the Premier League as well, when you have these big arenas.
When Barry Hearn first said, because Barry was my manager for about 18 years, he says, Phil, we're going to do a Premier League. I said, what's that then? He said, where you play every week, blah-de-blah-de-blah. Players will drop out after the so many weeks. I said, that's genius. I said, where are you going to play them? He says, in arenas. Arenas, like the places where Tom Jones and Frank Sinatra and Robbie Williams sing. Yeah. I'm thinking, you're never going to fill an arena. Never in a million years. You know what I mean? Because we were getting, say, I don't know, a couple of thousand people. You're talking a venue holding 15, 20,000
We saw every
people.
single Premier League venue sold out
mad.
this year. Yeah.
No, I can't, honestly. I can only applaud Barry's brains, the way he promotes things.
How do you guys do it? How do you go up on a stage in front of 10, 15,000 people that are all having a great time, shall we say?
You've got no choice. You've got no choice. Your adrenaline, you do get adrenaline. But again, what you said before, when you get to the back of that walkway, ready for walk on, and your tune comes on, and everybody's asking you to sign things and everything else, and shouting your name, it gets you going. Do you know what I mean? It's like if you're in a pub and somebody's going to give you a good eye, and there's 20 bullets saying, go on, Chris, go on. You'd be like, right, then come on, then I'll have a go. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It builds your courage up a little.
Maybe look for a back door.
Yeah.
Look, let's go back to Luke. And another thing that you could do, which actually you were probably one of the innovators of, was using different equipment, throwing different darts.
Yeah, he has. I think he has changed a little bit.
We can see here, I mean, they're quite similar to darts that you might throw in the past.
Yes, they were.
And he just did this randomly in the middle of a day. He was playing here. He was playing with the darts we saw before, and then suddenly he's using those darts. Another crazy checkout, Bull 11 Bull this time with those darts. He's throwing them just as well as he throws the others. Is it a myth that the darts make a difference? Can you just throw with anything?
You can. No, you can't throw with anything. You can throw with any dart. Of course you can. I can pick any dart up and play with them, but not at a top level. No. You've got to have a dart that actually suits you. So any professional player who's sponsored by a company, they might send you 10 different styles of dart. You know what I mean? Just to try. Just say, have a feel of these barrels, see what you think. And when you go down to your sponsors, they'll have a display of darts anyway. So just for pass a bit of time, I'd just pick a set of darts up and think, oh, I like these. This is lovely. I like the grip, and I like it's a bit thinner or a bit thicker. Make us a set of these up, guys, with my grip on. And he'd make you a set.
Where would you start if you were starting out now, or advice to anyone who is? What side of weight, what sort of shape?
We had to buy a set of darts in my era. So if you wanted to try different sets of darts, you have to buy them. Where some of these dart shops now, you can go in and you can try them first. So you could actually go in and try 50 sets of darts if you want, till you pick the one you think, this is the one. You'll know straight away. It's like putting a pair of shoes on. You could try 10 pairs of shoes and then get one pair and you go, ooh, these are the ones. Ooh.
I will ask you a question about
made me laugh that day.
about the darts that you were throwing. Did you know how you threw? I spoke to another very top professional dart
Did you
player,
know how you were playing?
And I said to him, not in terms of how well you were playing, but I said, do you know how the mechanics of your throw? And he said, I've got no idea, I just throw them.
No, you worked everything out. So Steve Davies told me years ago, he used to walk into a shot, so he'd look at the table, his eyes would be on the shot, and he'd walk into it, and put his body right there. I thought, that's brilliant. So when I was behind the hockey, I'd look at the treble and not take my eyes off the treble, whatever I was looking for, whether it was treble 10, I'd be down there and I'd be looking at that treble 10, I'd walk into it and position my body perfect. So I might have to just turn a little bit. So you bang on then. Every dart. A couple of criticisms I could say with people is they'll chuck a dart away. Where
something Littler himself.
Yeah, where you could hit a treble 20 and put that person under pressure. In their mind, I've lost a leg, don't matter. It doesn't always work like that.
One thing, I mean, maybe it's just...
See, Eric, when I was about, would have been outside the door waiting for me.
Yeah, having a...
Don't you do that again.
With Littler...
But bit stronger language than that, you know what I mean?
Maybe it's his age, because he is still a teenager at the end of the day, but you can see when he's getting annoyed and frustrated on the stage, and you're giving something away, aren't you?
Yeah. He'll learn. I mean, he's still learning. He makes me laugh, to be honest with you. You know, but there's always things come up in the press about him. He said this, or he's done this, or he sent a Twitter out, whatever. You know, it makes me smile because he is his own lad and he doesn't care. He isn't bothered, and I don't blame him. I wish I could have been a bit more like that. It wasn't my nature to be like that, but you know what I mean. I did think about other people. You know, I was worried what other people thought. where really you shouldn't. It took me till I'm 65 to think, who cares what people think, you know?
Absolutely. In terms of the success he can have in the future, look, no one can make the predictions of how many titles someone's going to win or anything like that, but he's got the fundamentals to be a very, very successful
multi-world champion, definitely. Yep. Oh yeah. He'll win it. Well, not the once at least. Of course he will, if not this year.
And what concerns have you got that might stop him from maybe fulfilling his potential? Because many say that Michael van Gerwen hasn't filled his.
The only thing I think with Youngin is burnout, mentally burn him out, where with that much pressure on him, and he'll get that. How can I explain? It'd be like having steak every night for your tea. You'd love the steak for the first couple of months, and then you think, oh God, I don't want steak again. So that'll be a bit like for young Luke. And Luke Humphries as well.
And managing that calendar, which is something you did.
Yeah, because he is going to have a family, he is going to have a wife and children, and again, he won't be at home with them. You got the World Championships, Christmas, over Christmas. It's the worst time, but the best time for the darts, because over Christmas there's no sport on. Again, Barry Hearn, this is the way he says, look at it, there's no football till January. So we finish. So there'll be no sport on. So we more or less finish the World Championship in January. So there's sport on during Christmas, and everybody loves the darts during. Even I love the darts over Christmas.
Well, I was going to say actually,
television's boring.
Do you think that when people talk about this Littler effect, has watching Luke Littler got you back interested in darts?
Definitely, 100%. Yeah, when I retired, I'd see Michael and Barney and all the rest of them playing week in and week out. Why do I want to sit at home and watch them? But then I had a little break from it. I've started sorting myself out. My eyes done, and I had my hip done, and. Then I got a bit of spare time, and all of a sudden, Gary Plummer, who was my sponsor from Target, said, Phil, keep your eye on young Luke Littler. I'd never heard of him. I said, who's that? He said, there's a lad who only lives up the road from you. I said, oh, right, okay. He come from the academy. He's only like 14. You watch him. The next thing you know, he's world champion. Absolutely brilliant.
I'm going to say it, though, he's not getting 16. I don't think anyone else is ever going to get many.
No, I'll make sure of that.
Phil, it's been
I'll let his tyres down.
It's been an absolute pleasure.
I hope he does do it. I hope he does get 17, I'll be honest with you.
There we go.
And the best thing as well, the better the looks are doing, the more publicity it keeps giving me, because they keep comparing all the time. It's ever so strange. I sit there sometimes, and my names, I'm thinking, why am I getting compared again? What's going on here? But it's nice in another way.
Yeah, well, there is no comparison. Phil, it's been a pleasure talking to you. Thanks for chatting with us today. Phil Taylor, The Power, talking about the future of darts and Luke Littler.